Oh, goodness. On 3 occasions, we got to do 3 special performances, tours actually. The first one took place in April of 1995. Now, if you remember April 20th, 1995, we had been invited to celebrate the 50th anniversary of the ending of World War II. And Music Celebrations International used to invite one orchestra, band, choir from each of the 50 states to come throughout the summer and perform patriotic programs in honor of the ending of the war. We were scheduled to leave at 4 o'clock in the afternoon on that day. I came running in. I was wearing a sequined red, white, and blue vest and hat and all ready to go, and we had buses lined up and 110 kids and sponsors ready to go. And that was the morning of the bombing in the Murrell Building in Oklahoma City. Wow. I had some wonderful parents with me who had organized the trip. President Brenda and Larry Meredith are, I think, here, who helped organize and raise the money and had some wonderful sponsors. And of course, that was just devastating. I came walking in the office that morning and had been over at the I-High and then came into high school. As I walked in the office, that's all that we saw on the television screen in the office. And decisions. What are we going to do? And finally, as the day wore on, of course, when we left town, we had no idea whether this was going to break out all over the country, if there would be targets in Washington, D.C. And I got quoted in the paper saying, and I did say it, kept asking, and parents kept calling, are you going, are you still going? And I said, yes. We've raised $68,000, hard work, and spent months and months and months putting the program together, and if we don't go, the terrorists have defeated us and we live in fear. So we got on the buses and we took off, and if we had to perform on a street corner in Washington, D.C., that's what we were going to do. Well, I can't begin to tell you all the amazing things that happened being the Oklahoma kids in Washington that year. All I had to do is get up and say, hi, we're from the great state of Oklahoma, and we got a standing ovation, and we hadn't even sung. And it was just one amazing emotional event after the other. Well, we were such a hit that then in 1998, we were invited to go back again. This time it was to honor George Washington leaving the presidency and retiring to Mount Vernon. And the Mount Vernon Women's Association, with Music Celebrations, invited all these groups again, one from each state, to come all summer and spring. It was really all year. To perform at Mount Vernon and other venues in Washington. So, as we always did, we had a script written, and what we decided to do this time was bring George Washington back 200 years. And so we had a George Washington. Wave at us, Mr. Washington. Robert Crawford, I think you were President of Student Council that year? I was our President of Student Council, and we dressed him up as George Washington, and he was part of the script, and we did again another, I love to do blatantly patriotic programs, I did them all the time. And so we had another program that we did, and what was really funny is that everywhere Robert went, when we got to Mount Vernon, he would say, well, this is my home, but who are all these strange looking people walking around? Because everybody's in their vacation clothes. But as we then sang our program, and then we had time to tour the Mount Vernon, people actually thought he was part of the Mount Vernon staff. And they would come up and ask him questions, and he made up all kinds of things and just acted like he knew what he was doing. And then the next trip was Boston, what year? Anybody on the Boston trip? Yes, Joab, what year was that?
That was 2000?
Yeah, I think somewhere around there, 2000? Okay. Then we got invited back again. And this time it was the 200th anniversary of the signing of the Constitution. So Boston invited us to come back. And so we made, on 3 occasions, we made some really wonderful, fun trips to all of these places. So we're going to do one of the medleys that we did. And we did this one with a track. Sometimes we had not very good facilities for pianos. When we had them, we used them. And sometimes we used tracks. depending on where we were performing. And so that's where this medley comes from.